Hello, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for this week is this incredible singer and songwriter known by the name of Bailey Koozer. So I'm about to add Bailey into the live now to have a chat with Bailey about her incredible music that she's made. So yeah, let's add Bailey in for the first guest of this week. And yeah, here we go. Hi Bailey.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It's such a pleasure having you on, Bailey. To people that don't know who you are, if you can give like a bit of backstory about who you are and what you do, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Well, my name is Bailey Koozer. I go to school in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm studying music business at Belmont. And I'm kind of just writing songs on the side and just hanging out.
So
So
we'll
yeah.
dive right into the very first question, Bailey. So for my very first question, so you've created this incredible original song called Summer Fling. What was like it like? What was it like coming up with like creating this song called Summer Fling, and what got you wanting to create Summer Fling in the first place? Like, what's the whole meaning behind Summer Fling?
Well, I wrote Summer Fling last summer. I was kind of hanging out with a guy, and we just like spent a summer together, and I was like, I want to write a song about this, about how it's probably not gonna last, but what we have now is super cool. So I'm gonna write about like the nature of having something really fun in the moment, but knowing it's not gonna last, but just savoring like what you have. So yeah.
So on to the very next question. So you have also created this other original song called "Sometimes the Goals Get Lonely." What was that like getting to create this song, and like what's the whole meaning behind this song?
Well, I woke up like Halloween morning and I was like, well, it's Halloween. I'm gonna like get in the spirit. So I just wrote a song about ghosts, and it's like an imaginary song, like a girl walks in to like a house and there's ghosts in there, and they're like, oh, like come hang out with us. Like we're lonely. We wanna like ask about your day, like how are you? And she was like strangely comforted by these weird like ghosts because we all think ghosts are like scary. I don't know. I just thought it was like a cool concept. So I posted it on TikTok.
So on to my very next question. So you have also created this other really incredible song called "Bad News." What was it like creating "Bad News," and what does the whole meaning behind "Bad News" mean for you?
So Bad News, I co-wrote with someone in a songwriting club at Belmont. His name's Gus. And we kind of were like, all right, so you're talking to someone and you know they like you and you kind of like what, so you keep talking to them even though you're leading them on. And so the bad news was telling them like, I knew I was wrong for you from the start, which is a lyric like in the chorus, but like I just need to tell you this isn't gonna work out. It's kind of like just about telling someone that you know you're leading them on, which is sad, but you don't like them like that.
Also,
Yeah.
very next question. So you have also created this other original song called "Never Easy." What was it like creating this song, and what's the whole meaning behind this song?
Well, never easy. I wrote it about when people fall in love, they're like, oh, like if it's easy, it works. Like this is meant to be. Like it should be easy falling in love. But the reality of it is like it's not easy. You're supposed to put in work. You're supposed to actually want it enough to pursue it. And so never easy is about like it takes love, but it takes one to give it up. Like those are like the lyrics in the chorus, and it's like if you don't want this, then why am I gonna put all my energy into it? So kind of about like a one-sided relationship in a way. Yeah.
So on to the very next question. So you have also created this other original song called "Used to Do." What was it? So yeah, "Used to Do." What was it like creating "Used to Do," and yeah, what's the whole meaning behind this song?
hmm Well, used to do. I co-wrote that with my two friends Scott Burrell and Amy Holcraft at Belmont, and it's about like missing a past relationship, but not necessarily for like the person. You're missing it for the things that you do together, like FaceTiming and like going to the movies together and just like having someone like to hang out with, but you don't necessarily miss the person, you just miss their company, which is kind of like, I don't know, interesting, I think, concept wise, but we wrote it.
Well, can I just say that was such an incredible song, by the way. I actually listened to like all your songs yesterday, and I was like, wow, you like vocal wise, like you are truly talented vocal wise. And I just love the like the songs that you come up with, because like the songs that you come up with are truly hands down inspirational. To people that haven't heard of Bailey's songs, definitely go check out Bailey on TikTok. Check out her songs. Truly inspirational, as I said before. You've got so much talent in you, Bailey, and I love your songs, by the way. So keep up the great work with your songs. So you're very welcome. So on to my very next question. So you have also created another original song called "Never Been Mine." What was it like coming up with like the song idea for this song? And yeah, what's the whole meaning behind this song?
Never Been Mine is the whole concept of like, oh, like if I hadn't walked into this room at this time, like we wouldn't have met. Like fate, everything happens for a reason. Like that's kind of what Never Been Mine's about. It's like it's an imaginary scenario again, but it's like if I didn't show up to the dance that one night, like I wouldn't have met you, and we would have like this wonderful thing. So it's kind of about like everything happens for a reason.
So on to my very next question. So you have also created this other original song called "Make Up Your Mind." What was it like getting to create this song, and what's the whole meaning behind the song?
Make Up Your Mind. I was talking to someone for 3 months, and we were doing everything that like a relationship. He was like over at my place every night, and we were just like best, like really good friends. And I was like, all right, you don't know what you want, and it's really confusing me. Like, if you can't, like the main line in the chorus is, if you can't make up your mind, don't make me lose mine. It's kind of like about just not knowing, being confused. So that's where that came from.
So on to my very next question. So you've also created this other original song called "Memories in My Head." What was it like creating this song, and what's the whole meaning behind this song?
When I wrote that song, that's also like just an imaginary story. It's about your best friend is talking about how they met a guy, and it's like they're describing like, oh, like the butterflies, like it's so new, like I just really like him. And you're kind of like, oh, I know how you feel, and I'll be there for you, but I'm kind of sorry because I just got over someone who made me feel like that. And it's like you're kind of torn between wanting to be there for your best friend, but also being really emotional about a past fling. And it's kind of like the guilty feeling. It's like I should want to support you, but I also just don't want to talk about love right now. So yeah.
So on to my very next question. So who inspired you as a person, like to get into singing in the first place?
I'm not sure exactly, but I always like wanted to sing and write songs. But when I was like younger, I remember being really inspired by Miley Cyrus. My dad would say like I would love singing The Climb in the car, and just like I would always be listening to her music. Like I feel like songwriting, like her first few albums, are what really inspired me to get into.
So on to my very next question. So what does performing music mean to you, like especially as an artist?
Well, I haven't performed in over a year but last year I had recently started getting into it because I was like, I'm kind of scared of performing, to be honest with you. I really prefer to write songs, but performing is really fun because you get to like see people's reactions, because like most of the time they had never heard my songs before, so it's fun to like sing songs and be like hear people like reactions to like ooh like that lyric, like ooh like this, like I don't know. So it's really cool to just connect with an audience and know that they've been through similar experiences.
So on to the very next question. So what have you learnt about yourself, like as a person, like especially during COVID?
During COVID, I feel like I've realized that I really love writing songs because during COVID, we were all bored. We all had nothing to do. We were all sitting at, like, bored out of our mind. And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to write and write and write and write and write. And that's all I wanted to do during the day. So it's like, if that's all, like, I want to do, like, that's my passion. And so the pandemic helps me realize that writing songs is, like, what I'm supposed to do.
So very next question. So if you could like work with any top 3 music artists in the industry, who would they be and why?
Phineas O'Connell. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's Billie Eilish. You know who that is? Yeah, I love him. He's such a good songwriter. Like, I'm obsessed with him. And, like, even, like, not only his songs, like, the songs that he's written on are just, like, phenomenal. So, Phineas O'Connell. And then Olivia Rodrigo, she just put out her album. And I'm so obsessed with it. Like, I just love her songwriting. So, she's an awesome person to, like, work with, collab. And then obviously Taylor Swift or like Conan Gray. But I don't know.
Well, they're great choices anyway. Like Olivia, as you mentioned, Olivia Rodrigo, she's incredible in High School Musical, the series, if you haven't seen that. Such an incredible series for a High School Musical series. But yeah, so on to my very next question for you. So what like are the positives into creating music, and what are like how do you get through those negative moments like when you're like creating music at the same time?
So I mean obviously expression is such a positive, like just having meaning to get it out. So you just write about it and it's like once the song's written it's kind of like off your chest. But a negative, that's also a negative because it's like you have to relive the emotion in a way. If you're like, just like, if you want to write a song about a certain situation, you have to experience the emotion again to write it. So if it's a negative emotion, it kind of is not the easiest to do. And another negative of creating music is you don't know the right way to say something. And I feel like as songwriters, like we're always trying to get it right. But the reality is, like, you're not going to get it right every time. So sometimes that's hard. Sometimes I have to go, like, to a song I've written and, like, rewrite it and, like, figure out, like, different wording. And it's just, like, frustrating. But, yeah, overall, it's great.
Well, if you can give any, like, advice to people that want to get into singing, what advice would you give and why?
Just do it, you know? If you want to sing, if you want to write songs, the only way to do it is to start and then just work on it every day, improve. And if you really love it, it shouldn't be hard because you already want to do that. So, yeah.
So on to my very last question, Bailey. So what's like next for you, like music-wise, for the rest of 2021 that you would like to announce?
Well, I don't really have any like official plans, but I'm obviously writing songs every day. I'm heading back to Nashville in 2 months, so hopefully I'll get to do more co-writes. And I may be putting out a song like later this year, but no plans for that yet. So we're just going with the flow right now.
Awesome. Well, can I just say thank you so much, Bailey, for taking the time to join my show. It's been such a pleasure having you on. Do you have like any last final thoughts that you'd like to say to people on the show?
For everyone that watched, thank you for watching. This was super fun. It was great talking to you. Great interviewer. And just talking about my songs.